And welcome to Mindfulness Practice with Paul Sugar. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Arizona time, to practice some mindfulness together. So let's start our practice today, as we usually do, combining smiling and mindfulness practice. And so it'll be very simple. We'll smile for about 15-20 seconds. We'll combine the practice of mindfulness, which means bringing the attention to the body, the thoughts, the emotions, and the breath while we're smiling, so that we're fully experiencing the benefits of that smile and taking advantage of all of the research that's been done, combining the smile with the practice of mindfulness. So let's start with that big smile, as big as you can. Keeping the attention in the present moment with the body, thoughts, the emotions, and the breath, smiling. Big smile. Okay, good smile. So next, we're going to do our 2-minute mindful breath, and I'll guide you through that practice. And after that, I'm going to introduce our 8-minute mindfulness practice for today. So let's begin the mindful breath by coming to a comfortable position, sitting up straight if you're sitting, standing or walking, or whatever position is comfortable for you, perhaps even lying down, as long as you're not going to fall asleep. And then you can either keep your eyes open or closed or just glancing down, whatever works best for you. Some people feel like eyes closed are better because there are fewer distractions that way. But we like to employ creativity and imagination in the mindfulness practice, so discovering what works best for you. And now bringing the attention to the breath. As we breathe in and out through the nose, we know that nose breathing helps to reduce stress. And just breathing naturally, fully experiencing that in-breath, and then there's a slight pause, and then an out-breath. Noticing when the attention wanders off, where does it go to? Maybe it goes to a physical sensation, one of your 5 senses, a thought, an emotion. Taking note of that, and then bringing the attention back to the breath. Remember that attention wandering is a big part of building the mindfulness practice. It's a very productive part. It's like weightlifting. It's actually a way of building up that mindful muscle. Just coming back to the present moment, coming back to the breath, and then staying with the breath, fully experiencing each breath. Maybe noticing the lower abdomen, how the breath begins there, rolls up into the upper torso, up to the shoulders, and then back down again. Breathing. If it's helpful, silently, you can say to yourself, breathing. Some people find that as a good way of keeping the attention with the breath. fully experiencing that breath, coming back to it whenever the attention wanders. Okay, good mindful breathing. So today's 8-minute practice will begin with connecting to the body mindfully. And we'll do that in 2 ways. We're going to connect by moving the attention around and exploring the body. So learning how to navigate the attention by moving it around. And then we're also going to then move into sensing the body as a whole. And so keeping the attention in one place. And so these are 2 separate practices. Since the skill of building the attention, keeping it in the present moment, is so important, it's good to be able to learn how to keep the attention in the present moment by moving it around and also by keeping it still. 2 separate aspects of the same practice. And then from there, we're going to go into something that's a little bit different. With mindfulness, we usually pay attention to the body, the thoughts, the emotions, the breath. So there's always something to pay attention to. We choose it ahead of time. With this practice, once we warm up, which I call choiceless awareness, we're not going to choose anything in particular to pay attention to. We're just going to open up our field of attention and then see what comes and goes. And what will come and go will either be something having to do with the body, the thoughts, the emotions, and the breath. Those are basically the 4 choices that we have. And so let's start our 8-minute practice once again by adjusting our posture, embodying that attitude of alert attention, which is what mindfulness is all about, and also self-acceptance, accepting who we are in this moment, and then bringing our attention to the body. We're going to be taking inventory here. It's a good way to warm up. Moving the attention around the body in any particular order. Noticing what's present. Welcoming whatever experience is there, whether it be comfortable, uncomfortable, or neutral. We want to have the same openness to these experiences regardless of the quality of the experience. It's a big part of connecting or reconnecting to the body, to the present moment. Stress takes us out of the present moment, disconnects us from the body. And mindfulness then is the remedy for that because it reconnects us to the body and takes us out of the stress mode, even if we've been stuck in it for long periods of time. So exploring the body, what are you noticing in the different parts of the body? What's present for you? What's showing up in your field of attention? Just staying connected to the body, which is the doorway to the present moment and is the key to reducing stress, getting back into balance, balancing out the nervous system, and then moving on into the flow states, exploring our human potential. Fully connected to the body, to the present moment. And now expanding the field of attention to include a sense of the body as a whole. And as we've always done before, and will continue to do, we're going to just open up that field of attention, use creativity and imagination to create your experience, since everybody's going to approach this in a little bit of a different way. And then just sense the body as a whole. Some people find it easier to just sense their level of energy, or perhaps sensing the breath throughout the body. Whatever works for you. Expanding the field of attention to include the entire body, fully experiencing the body as a whole. Keeping the attention right here in this moment, noticing if it wanders off to a thought or an emotion, bringing it back to the physical sensation or the energetic sensation of the body. What's present for you? Is there a sense of comfort or discomfort, or is it just neutral? Nothing in particular. Just noticing the quality of your experience of the body, fully connecting to the body. Going deeper into the present moment through the body. And now shifting the attention to choiceless awareness. So for me, it kind of feels like shifting a car into neutral. For you, it might feel like something different. But we're not going to pick anything in particular to pay attention to. We're just going to open up that field of attention and see what comes in and what comes out. You may notice the breath from moment to moment. You might notice a part of the body or an emotion. You might notice a thought. And just seeing what comes and goes. Shifting into neutral. And just opening up that field of attention to all possibilities. Choiceless awareness. What are you noticing? Is it a physical sensation? Is it the breath? Is it an emotion? Is it a thought? Just holding that field of attention open noticing what comes and goes, staying with that alert attention. Staying present. And just allowing these experiences to come and go on their own without you picking anything in particular. Let these experiences pick you instead of you picking them. That's why we call it choiceless awareness or open awareness. It's a good way to just shift into neutral, sort of like treading water, just resting in that present moment experience. Just resting in the fullness of that present moment experience. Keeping the attention right here, right now. If you get lost, just bring yourself back to the breath and then resume the choiceless awareness. Sometimes a thought may take you off down the rabbit hole. If you find yourself going there, just reorient with the breath and then open up to the choiceless awareness again. And now opening the eyes, if they're not already open, continuing with the practice, the meditation, choiceless awareness, building that bridge between our formal practice, mindfulness meditation, and then bringing it into everyday activity. We want to build up that ability to be present 24/7, not just when we're doing the meditations. So eyes are open, continuing to practice, continuing to experience the choiceless awareness. Okay, and finishing up. So now we can take a couple minutes out. If anybody has any questions or comments that they would like to share, we could address those. Very welcome, Larry. Good to see you again today. And as a reminder for everybody, All of these practices that we do live streaming with are archived on my YouTube station. So if you want to go back and experience them again, you're able to do that. It's the YouTube Stress Beaters channel. You can go to my website, stressbeaters.com, and there's a YouTube icon. Just click there, and it'll take you to the archives of all the live streaming practices that we do together. So I have one question here. Can going down the rabbit hole be part of choiceless awareness? Yes and no. By definition, going down the rabbit hole traditionally means letting go of awareness. So when we go down the rabbit hole, there's that loss of attention, usually. There are some experiences where perhaps we can go down the rabbit hole and keep that attention right there, but it's rare. And the only example that comes to my mind right now is, of course, the most famous one that went down the rabbit hole, and that's Alice. So Alice in Wonderland. She went down the rabbit hole, and I guess she did have a certain quality of attention in Wonderland. But for most of us, when we go down the rabbit hole, we're losing that field of attention. Another question is, what's the difference between mindfulness meditation and just regular meditation? And that's an important question, because there's a lot of different kinds of meditation out there. And for example, there are mantra meditations, there are visualization meditations, guided imagery. A lot of these kinds of meditations are designed to, for lack of a better phrase, take us to our happy place. And there's definitely a time and a place to be able to go to our happy place by using different meditative and contemplative approaches like that, using visualization and chanting and so forth and so on. A lot of interesting things to experience. But it is kind of like a form of temporary disconnection. And as long as you can get back and reconnect, then these things are fine. It's almost like going on a vacation in a way to a foreign land, but to your happy place. With mindfulness meditation, it's very specific in that we are connecting to the body and we're experiencing deeply what's happening in the present moment. And what happens with continued practice is your body, which is the doorway to the present moment, ends up becoming your happy place. So rather than us having to go somewhere else to experience our happy place, what we're doing is we're building up the ability to experience the body as our happy place. So when I say the body, I mean the body, the thoughts, the emotions, and the breath, the five senses, all of that. So there is a difference between meditations. It's a huge field, but mindfulness meditation is very, very specific. Kathy and Ann, how are you today? All right. So let's finish up for today. I'll be back Thursday, 4 p.m. Arizona time. And remember that these live streaming practices are archived on my YouTube channel. So we'll finish up with our 15-second mindful smile, combining the smile with the practice of mindfulness. And so starting now, big smile. Big smile. And that's our 15-second smile. There's one more interesting question here from Gregory. In the absence of a doer, who meditates? Greg, if you can ask me that again next time, I can elaborate on it. For now, I'll give you an answer, a short answer. In the absence of a doer, the person who meditates is the observer. And so in mindfulness, what we're doing is we're combining the observer and the doer. And that's what we call peak performance. That's what we call the flow experience. So I know it sounds counterintuitive in some ways, but you can combine the doer and the observer. It's what a lot of the people who experience peak performance describe as a key part of their experience. So I hope that helps, but I'll be happy to elaborate on that Thursday, Gregory, if you'd like to ask that question again. So hope everybody has a mindful day, and until next time on Thursday, we'll see you. It's good to be with you.